Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. An absolute pleasure to be able to speak to you both. How are you today? Okay.
Good, thank
Yeah,
you.
good, thank you. You?
I'm great, thank you. And what a pleasure to be able to talk about this new series. I mean, I'm a big fan of the French one, so I already know a bit about it. But for the completely uninitiated, tell us a bit about what they can expect from 10%.
Well, 10% is a show, comedy drama, about a group of talent agents and the actors and celebrities that they represent.
Yes, and the travails and the complications and the the chaos that ensues. Yes, and it's very funny. It's beautifully written by John Morton. It's very fast. It's got a great heart. So
And added showbiz.
yeah.
Were you big fans of the French series? And what was the appeal for you for coming on board with kind of a UK adaptation, if you like?
Huge fan.
Yeah, huge fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Massively. I haven't seen all of the French series actually because I had to stop watching it because I got the part in the UK version. So I don't actually know what happens and had to tell everyone to not tell me because I will get back to it eventually. But I suppose the thing that attracted me to this series was John Morton and his writing. Even just knowing that he was involved before I'd seen the scripts, I knew that it was going to be excellent, something that I would be excited to watch. So when the script came through and you read it and you see all of these, you know, witticisms and the Britishness that he's managed to imbue the series with, it just felt like a different, it felt like a different show,
Yeah.
actually.
It was John Morton, absolutely. I mean, I think if you know, I would have been much more hesitant had it not been someone like him. And to see it on the page, you know, and you just wanted to get your tongue around all these lines, you know. So that was the thing that gave me confidence.
Can you tell us a bit about each of your characters? And, you know, they've all kind of got their own thing that they bring to the group and to the banter. So maybe you can give us a glimpse about what you liked about your characters and how you saw them.
Okay, I play Stella Hart. She is one of the main shareholders in the company. She's been with it since the very beginning. She and Jim Broadbent, you know, started the agency with one table and no chairs. You know what I mean? And so they've been together for a very long time. So she's one of these agents. There are a number of them in the business who, the women agents who have really had to do their stuff in a very tough world, a men's world. You know, the education world was very, very male, and so she shoots from the hip, but she's very honourable and very dry. She's got an extremely dry sense of humour. It's the way she's got through life, and she's very, very loyal to her clients, and she's very, very loyal to the principles of the company, the good principles. You know what I mean? So she's a great combination of things. She's vulnerable as well, you know. And she has a very, very warm heart, but she's got she knows she doesn't take any prisoners. It's great, very interesting to play.
And I play Julia, who is the assistant to Jonathan Nightingale, who's played by Jack Davenport. And well, what can I say about Julia, really? I mean, Julia's a very sort of slightly highly strung, defensive, very passionate person. Yeah, Maggie said that earlier on. I think I'll stick with that. She's a very passionate individual who would do anything for her boss. Absolutely,
she has to keep it all under wraps.
Exactly. She's sort of very tightly bound, both clothing wise and personality wise.
And what was the shooting of the series like? Because as you're saying, you know, the script is so witty, but, you know, I guess having to enact that as well, like you couldn't miss a beat, you know, it's so fast and it's firing all the time. So what were some of the highlights and challenges maybe of making the series?
Well, it's so quick, which is both a highlight and a challenge.
Yeah, it's very frightening.
Yeah.
It's one of the most frightening jobs I've ever done, to be honest, because you didn't want to let it down for a second.
No.
You know what I mean? You absolutely had to deliver. And there wasn't that much time. And so we had to be so on the ball. And that, you know, that was a great, like you say, it's a great challenge. But you do go in there thinking, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do this today. You know, I don't think I can. You know, you had to really hang on to yourself, which is fantastic. Fantastic to have to do a job of work like that. It's brilliant, you know, and it turns out it sort of works.
I remember when we were all sitting around that boardroom for the first time.
Yeah.
And doing that really long scene that I think was about 6 pages or something like that.
Yes.
And it was the first time that all the characters had been in the same space. And we knew it was going to be a really long day. And I just remember doing that first line run of it. And it was just delicious. I mean, it was so bouncy and so great. And John's there, you know, and like, I mean, all of my lines in the first few episodes are just sort of yes, no, but just coming in on cue and being there, it all is so essential for the music of the scene. And I remember just being in it and doing it and being like, oh, this is really good, actually. I think
yes, it's making me feel anxious now, actually. I'm starting to get a bit anxious about the whole thing. I remember it so well.
And, you know, what do you think people take away from watching it? Because I think, you know, what's great, you know, it's taken the basis of the French series, but it has got such a British humour and sensibility. And it does kind of delve into some like serious issues. I mean, you've got, you know, the pressure women are under in the industry. There's some very sort of emotional, heartfelt scenes, you know, even from the first episode. So do you like that mix of the comedy and the drama and that sense of humanity that comes out?
I love it. I love that this series doesn't shy away from the questions as well that the industry are asking at the moment. You know, I think it's really interesting that we've got storylines about the pay gap.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting that we've got storylines about being a mother.
Yes.
And these questions that are just coming to the fore at the moment, especially after Me Too.
Having brain fog. A wonderful thing about having brain fog when you're a mother and you're still expected to be zippy and whatever, you know, and you can't deliver, you've had it.
Yeah,
you know. It's marvelous, all that sort of stuff. But also it's the best sort of comedy. I mean, comedy, you know, is very serious. We know it's very serious business. Do you know what I mean? You can't have one without the other if it's really going to be good. You know, that's the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what he's given us.
And also all these great cameos, which, you know, I think it's kind of a great meta feeding, but it must be quite funny as well being on set because some of you are in character and some, obviously they're also kind of playing a character, but themselves as well. So does that bring an interesting layer?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy. You know, you're sitting in the makeup chair and someone who's lower down on the call sheet than you, which would be like Helena Bonham Carter, for example, which, you know, when's that going to happen? And she comes and sits next to you and just starts having her makeup done. Or Olivia Williams was right next to me as well, just being normal, talking about her daughter. Yeah, it was amazing. I actually am really glad because I sort of spent quite a lot of time when that was happening, you know, keeping myself to myself and, you know, quite freaking out next door. And I remember when Jess Aiello was next to me and I'm so pleased that I got to talk to her because she is so cool. And their storyline in particular is one that I just think they're such good sports and and I told her so and I got the opportunity to just be like, I think that you're seriously cool.
Yeah.
The fact that you and David are so prepared to have this spat on screen and storyline, you know, but I think it shows them in an exceptional light, actually.
No, I do.
And their marriage too.
It's lovely. It's a really lovely thing. And of course, they were very nervous, you know, because you can't go on and be yourself. It's very difficult to be yourself. They just didn't quite know what. And again, they had to do it at the speed that it was needed, you know. So they were phenomenal. And also they were real sports, so they didn't know if it was going to be a success or not. The French one had been going for quite a while before those other stars went, I want a bit of this, you know. It's different.
Well, I think I'm out of time, but thank you so much for sharing all that with me. And I can't wait for everyone else to see this incredible series, 10%. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Very much.
Lovely to chat to you. Thank you.